Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Crime Talk, and my name is Scott Reich. Let's do a quick preview of today's docket. First, looks like some serious mistakes were made in Uvalde, Texas. Next, meet a professional booster. You think Johnny Depp and Amber Heard had a rough start to their marriage? Wait till you hear about this story. A tough day for a school resource officer. The longest serving female prisoner in California is eligible for parole. And then finally, our dumb criminal of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, aficionados. Before we get to the docket, you know the drill. Subscribe if you haven't, like the video if you do, leave me a comment about anything that we discuss here today, and remember to hit that little bell so you receive notifications of when we go live or put up new content. And always remember and never forget, that's right, if you can't watch us, you can always listen to us on your favorite podcasting app by searching Crime Talk with Scott Reich. Now, before we get to today's docket, let's support the sponsors who support the channel. Like many Americans, we got a dog during the pandemic. My quarantine dog, Miss Winnie the Bulldog. Now, Miss Winnie has grown accustomed to being around us all the time. When we were leaving the house, Winnie would have extreme anxiety, so we decided to look for natural products to help with her anxiety. We looked for the highest quality CBD treats, and we were not satisfied, and neither was Winnie. So we created a high-quality CBD product that absorbs faster and provides the required results faster. Baked in Colorado, CBD treats and beverage enhancers are made with nanotechnology. The nanotechnology makes the CBD extraction more pure, also allows for Baked in Colorado products to work faster. Baked in Colorado products can help reduce your pet's anxiety, ease joint pain, and help with your dog's skin problems. Go to our online store and see what Baked in Colorado product is best for your dog. When you order at bakedincolorado.com, enter code WINNIE and receive 15% off your first order. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If your dog does not experience the desired results in 30 days, return the product and we will refund your money. No questions asked. Okay, let's get to the docket for Friday, May 27th, 2022. Now, if you may have missed it, we spent 6 hours covering the Depp v. Heard trial, the closing arguments. That's right, from the time the judge started reading the jury instructions to the jury, the first closing for each party, and then rebuttal. That's right, 6 hours, and of course, asking a couple of questions, filling in answers to questions throughout. If you want a chance to take a look at it, feel free. I'm not an advocate for either side for Mr. Depp. I like Mr. Depp. I don't particularly like Amber Heard. But as I have said, I think that the law is on Miss Heard's side. But Depp is clearly winning in the court of public opinion. The jury got the case about 3 p.m. on Friday afternoon on the start before a long weekend where they've been doing this for 6 weeks. I think they're going to take the weekend off and get busy Tuesday after the Memorial Day weekend. All right, let's get to the docket. Let's open the record. First, it looks like there were some serious mistakes in Uvalde, Texas. Texas police said that they did not immediately rush in to find the shooter on Tuesday's attack after being shot at because they feared they might be killed, and even suggested that they deliberately locked the gunman in the classroom where he slaughtered 21 people in order to trap him. Now, Department of Safety officer Lieutenant Chris Oliveras made the astonishing comments during an appearance on CNN. He was being challenged by Wolf Blitzer over why the first officers who responded to the shooting retreated after Salvador Ramos, coward, shot at them with an AR-15 and then waited an hour for the tactical SWAT team arrive to take him out, referring to Salvador Ramos, that coward who kills innocent children and teachers and women there in the classroom. That left him alone in the classroom with the 19 fourth graders and 2 teachers who, like I said, were slaughtered. Police originally said that the gunman barricaded himself inside the classroom and that the police then had trouble gaining access to the room, and one unnamed law enforcement official anonymously spoke out to say SWAT teams had to wait for a different school staff member to bring them a key to the classroom. Scores of Border Patrol agents also rushed to the scene after hearing the incident unfold over their scanners. When they arrived, the Uvalde Police Department also told them not to go inside. Eventually, the agents joined parents and a handful of local police officers in pulling kids through the windows from the classroom. The agents said they did not understand why they were being told not to go inside when the gunman was still in the building. An ex-instructor for the National Tactical Officers Association stated that we don't expect police officers to commit suicide in doing it, but the expectation is that if someone is about to harm someone, especially children, you've got to take immediate action to make that stop. Now, surgeons at the hospital in Uvalde have also suggested that the delay in responding to the shooting may have cost some of the children their lives. The Texas Director of Public Safety literally broke down in tears as he admitted 19 officers stood outside the classroom where the gunman in Tuesday's shooting had his victims trapped and did nothing because they thought everyone inside was already dead, despite the fact that there was ongoing 911 calls from inside the school and the classroom where children were begging for help. Now, Colonel Stephen McCraw made this admission at a press conference on Friday afternoon when he said that the wrong decision was made, and it came as a result of the chief of the Uvalde School District Police Department, Pete Arredondo, mistakenly believed all of the children in the classroom had already been killed. Police said they thought that every shot that the gunman fired after that was aimed at the door, designed to keep the police officers away. That just gets me fired up. If you watched our show Wednesday on our live program we did during the week, it just irritates me that Salvador Ramos is a coward. He should be forever known as being a coward. And it's kind of sad that some people think that the police didn't go in because they were afraid of risking their lives. That's their job. The police officers that did go in, those SWAT team officers, my hat is off to them. Sad situation. Nothing good comes from that at all. All right, next on the docket, let's meet a professional booster. This woman, who dubbed herself a professional booster after she was nabbed for shoplifting earlier this year, has been arrested again for allegedly robbing the same Manhattan drugstore 10 times. Michelle McKelly, she's 42. She now has 108 arrests under her belt following her latest bust. That's right, 108 arrests. What are they waiting for? 200 arrests to hold her? When does it stop? It's making a mockery of the system. A Manhattan criminal court just opted to release McKelly late Thursday night after she pled guilty to 1 count of petite larceny and 3 counts of disorderly conduct. This career shoplifter must now complete 5 sessions of a program for recidivist offenders, or she'll risk a 90-day jail sentence. Ooh, I bet you Miss McKelly could teach the class herself. McKelly alleges a spree at the Rite Aid started on April 21st and resulted in the theft of dozens of body washes, hair products, soaps, candies, and other items totaling a paltry $1,375. Now, days before her arrest at Rite Aid, she was nabbed for stealing from a Target, where she is accused of stealing 4 containers of Tide Pods, 2 Squad backpacks, 1 package of Chips Ahoy, 4 Febreze air fresheners, and 6 Glade air fresheners. After her arraignment, when she was released, McKelly said, "I don't call it stealing. I call it professional boosting." Meanwhile, the latest judge to free McKelly, a judge by the name of Maldonado Cruz, took an upbeat note at her arraignment and congratulated her on her recent move from a woman's shelter to her own place. I wonder what she does with all these free goods that she boosts. Does she use them for herself, or does she sell them? Good job, Judge. Just giving the praise where she deserved it. Good job. After sentencing her to time served on the 3 counts, the judge says, "Congratulations. You're doing the right thing. I wish you well." I would have hoped that the judge would have probably said, "You're a career criminal. If I could, I would give you more time. And if I see you back here again, given your lengthy criminal history and arrest record, I'm going to sentence you to the maximum every time that you come before me. And I would say, if you think I'm joking, just try me. What can you do about that, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. I don't know. I get it. People make mistakes. 110 times, that's not a mistake. That is a way of life. That is a conscious decision to be a criminal. At a certain point, some people cannot just function in society and they need to be locked up. All right, things aren't going to go well. Well, when Amber Heard and Johnny Depp get together again, or when, maybe something like this happens. A 30-year-old woman was arrested this week in Texas after she allegedly shot and killed her husband just days after their wedding. So on April 25th at about 10 p.m., a woman called the Denton Police Department to report her husband had been shot. Another person reportedly called 911 to report a pickup truck had crashed into a residential yard. When officers arrived, they found the truck with a man unconscious in the driver's seat. The victim, who police identified as Jeffrey McBride, was transported to the hospital with a gunshot wound to the abdomen. Ouch, that had to hurt. He later died from his injuries. The Denton Police Department spoke with McBride's wife, Amber Rosales, and she reportedly told the police that McBride stopped on East Sherman Drive to speak with a male. She claimed a man shot McBride, threw the gun in the car, and fled. Now, during the investigation, detectives reportedly determined Rosales' statement were inconsistent on multiple occasions and concluded she was the only person with Mr. McBride when he was shot. Surveillance footage captured on East Sherman Drive shows the truck driving normally before crashing into the yard. There was no evidence of anyone running away from the scene, and Rosales said at the time of McBride's death that he was going to do a drug deal, but then it went bad. She reportedly first said the gun used to kill her husband was a pistol and then changed it to a revolver. The affidavit reportedly notes the victim sustained a single gunshot wound to the right side, and the only person in the vehicle that could have fired the weapon was Rosales and not an unknown male that was alleged by Rosales to have come up to the stopped vehicle and fired the fatal shot. Now, Rosales was convicted of aggravated assault in 2017 and in 2020 pled guilty to false reporting of a sexual battery involving a law enforcement officer. Jeffrey McBride's sister, Katie McBride, reportedly said that Rosales abused Jeffrey and that he was a victim of domestic violence. Rosales was taken into custody on Wednesday, May 25th, and being held at the Denton County Jail on a $500,000 bond. Too bad somebody had to die before they figured out maybe things just weren't going to work out like they were hoping. What can you say? Next, another tough day for school resource officers. A former school resource officer for the Lancaster Police Department was arrested and charged with 2 counts of soliciting a minor. Justin Hartfield, 34, of Health Springs, is accused of knowingly communicating with a minor during a live Instagram video chat session on May 13th while performing the sexual activity of pleasuring himself in the viewing presence of the minor. Now, Hatfield was familiar with the victim and knew she was under the age of 18, according to the arrest affidavit. The video chat session was screen recorded and handed over to law enforcement. Hatfield was then booked into the Lancaster County Detention Center. Certainly not going to be that school resource officer much longer. And there's great school resource officers out there, but it seems like the ones that get in trouble do it because they want to be near the kids. Just throwing that out there for a little thought. All right, the longest serving female prisoner in the California Department of Corrections system, guess what? Being recommended for parole. So this week, a California board recommended for parole for a Charles Manson follower who participated in killing the pregnant actress Sharon Tate and 6 others during a 2-day murder spree back in 1969, which would be 52 years ago. The State Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation said in a statement that the Board of Parole Hearings' tentative decision concerning Patricia Krenwinkel, who's now 74, will be reviewed by the board's legal division within 4 months. If it is approved and finalized, Governor Gavin Newsom will have a month to review the decision. Now, Krenwinkel, who is the state's longest-serving female inmate, was with other Manson family followers when they broke into Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski's Los Angeles home and killed her along with 4 others. Krenwinkel testified that she chased socialite and coffee heiress Abigail Folger, 25, and stabbed her 28 times. The following night, Krenwinkel and fellow cult members fatally stabbed Los Angeles grocer Leno Bianca and his wife Rosemary. In both slayings, Krenwinkel used the victim's blood to scribble "Death to Pigs" on the wall. Now, though Krenwinkel was initially sentenced to death in 1971, her sentence was commuted to life in prison with the possibility of parole after the state overturned the death penalty in 1972. So, one would hope that at the age of 70-something, then maybe she's just a little too old to go out there and commit any more crime. That's what the statistics show, that people that commit violent crime, they can probably be released when, well, they're in a geritol status and they cannot harm anyone. All right, let's do a quick recap of our dumb criminals. And I don't know about you, but has this been a long week? It just seems like a very long week with everything that's gone on. First, Monday, Amador Rodriguez crashed his car into a house and then fled the scene without reporting the crash and failed to check and see if anyone was inside the house to see if they were injured. He called the police later and lied, saying that the car was his, but it was stolen. Needless to say, the police found out that that wasn't true. He was the driver. Tuesday, the unidentified man who tried to steal a gun from a concealed carry class at a gun store in Las Vegas, the same unidentified man who pulled a screwdriver out on the police officers who tried to arrest the individual. He was ultimately shot by the police officers and the gun store owners or employees who are always armed. Wednesday, Peter J. Dusick blew up a mailbox because he believed he was owed money from a landscaping job from the owner of the house. Those pesky Ring doorbells. Thursday, Kenneth Gray tipped an alarm at a restaurant in St. Petersburg, Florida, and when officers arrived, Mr. Gray was seated inside the fenced area of the restaurant with his pants opened and exposing his private parts. Mr. Gray claimed he was doing a chant and cleansing himself spiritually. Not really sure what the exposing of his genitalia was going to help. Maybe he needed some cleansing there as well. And today, a 64-year-old retiree was busted for indecent exposure following an incident in Tarpon Springs, which is a suburb of Tampa, Florida. Please meet Charles Hickson. Well, he was in the water. The water was about knee deep, and he was wearing a Speedo when he pulled down the front of his swimsuit and exposed his genitalia to the world to see. Mr. Hickson was allegedly holding his privates in his hand while staring and grinning at the 28-year-old female victim who was on the beach. The woman and Mr. Hickson apparently had both made eye contact, and the victim described the genitalia as being large and that it was similar in color to the body with which it was tan from Mr. Hickson. Mr. Hickson was charged with exposure of a sexual organ, a misdemeanor, and released yesterday on a $150 bond. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what is more appalling, the fact that the man was wearing a Speedo suit at the beach or the fact that he was exposing himself at the beach. Both should be crimes. All right, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful long weekend, and we'll see you next week on Crime Talk.